The Lord be with you.
Careful.
Good day to you. God be with you.
Glad to see you again.
You have the gall to show me your face again?
Hold your horses. Actually, I have...
You've come to blackmail
Call it what you like.
the Assembly. The one King
Sigismund's just a usurper.
Singing Ruthard's song, eh? And tell the truth.
I want to know what Sigismund tells the
You want to spy? Do you know what? Forget it.
Have you forgotten I have you over a barrel?
All right, all right. Maybe if I get you into the council, you'll behave appropriately and you won't betray yourself, or especially me. And that will be the end of our business together.
All right.
You can get into the council assembly relatively easily. My cook is roughly around your age. Maybe he can be, although not everyone would want.
Who's this?
Franta's his name. Franta Cooldown. He's an... Which reminds me, you'll need otherwise
What will I need?
fast feet and good manners.
Excuse me?
Do you think you can serve the king?
Well, no.
Our usual waiter had a brand new...
Where can I find the...
He's supposed to pick up his new clothes at the market, that is, if he's up and about after his boozing.
At the what?
That German alehouse, the Iron Eagle.
What would work on him?
Would you like me to give you a letter for him?
I'll be going then.
Just make sure.
Greetings.
I better not forget about that council assembly.
God bless you, sir.
You must be Franta Cooldown.
I am.
I'm Henry. I heard.
I am.
Supposing I took the job on for you.
Look here. It's not like them councillors stuffing their face. Why would you want to...
I just have to get in there. I have an important message for the king.
But why would you want to...
But it could be that someone from the council is mixed.
I see. All right, then. To begin with, you'll need Look here. Do you have any idea...
Of course. Who do you take me for?
All right. No need. Show the confirmation to the head butler.
That makes sense.
And you'll need a waiter. I didn't get round to picking it up. So go and see Schneider.
Thanks.
You better... Farewell, my friend.
Night.
Gepriesen sei der...
Got in our hen house before
What's new?
Ja, ich wüsste, but you have to. Und das war's.
Sounds interesting. What work do you...
I have work for...
What?
Ach,
Very well. That German, his whole inn smells like...
was? It says my tavern.
Well, that's not what's written there.
Der verdammte... That youngster. Yannick, the script 5.
So?
Donnerwetter. We have a problem and it's crawling not long ago. And the merch, if you are Karine.
You pay, I get it. But what do you want me to do?
Well, the other merchants and I, would you...
And what am I supposed...
That probably those soldiers are guarding... I need you to go there. So,
Yeah, I'll help.
leave Kuttenberg in the middle of the road.
Fine. Easy, good horse. The city council will be convening soon. Better get a move on.
Fine day, some fine wares. Come and take your pies. Sweet pies. Fruit pies. A fine day for some fine wares. Oh, bread rolls, pancakes, cabbage, black. Fresh cabbage, black.
That won't work on me.
Stop
feeding him.
What's it to be, you
some
wretch?
fine wares.
Why did you do that? What now, fucker?
What are you doing?
That mad. Why did he do
What was that sound?
Praise God.
Hey,
A fine day for some fine wares.
Excuse me.
The finest wares. Quality good. Finest wares. Come and take a look. Quality good. Lord be with you. Don't be shy. Come closer and take a look. Light and dark. A fine day for some fine wares. Quality goods, the finest wares. We've got enough to go around. Anything you need.
A fine day for some fine wares. Come and take your pick.
Honey pies. Pies like no other. Quality goods here. Utter.
Muslan, Barchet. The strongest Barchet from Kashov.
God be with you.
I hear one Franta called.
Aye, the finest. But it was worth.
As it happened. Franta? He gave me a certificate.
I was hoping he'd try.
Come and take a gander.
wares. Thin bowls. Strong pots. Inexpensive but high quality.
Pictures, fine pictures. Just come and take a look.
Devil's swine.
Franta cooldowns.
Franta's not caught.
He got as drunk as a lord.
I might have expected. I told him. Oh, well, we can't be without. So, have you got Franta?
Sure.
You know a good way to buy him without a tunic. And have you forgot? You can put your steel aside in front of the council. You don't want to be dragging the royal waiter's liver.
Here I am.
Let's have a look. You've got to wait. A tunic? You can put your steel aside in front of the council chamber, along with your other stuff. You don't want to be dragging everything. Do you know what you're due for an inexperienced...
Well, I'll happily listen.
I should certainly... Now listen. A good way, in short, but when one of the gentlemen, you'll find the pitchers on a table by the door to the white Tokai or red monastery wine.
White or red, by the door to the chapel.
But for Councillor Adam of Zarjitz, you must not, when he drinks, he disrupts and we can't allow...
All right. Sir,
And if the king himself wants wine, you pour for him with love.
remember...
That too, but more importantly, and in general...
Oh?
Well, yes. Understood.
Absolutely.
Correct. And if... But you'll manage.
I know everything.
Excellent. Put away your things here. It's easier to serve with a lighter load.
The city reserves are in urgent need of new weapons. Unverzüglich. Our current... Affen Arsenal is a joke, and on top of that,
There are
the
the
army
pictures of
was
wine.
requisitioning from it.
Hopefully
Should
I
the
won't
town
splash
reserve
anyone's
have worse
shoes.
weapons than any Räuber in the domain?
What are you getting at?
You there, lad.
I'm
a
saying
cup of
that
red.
the bandits
And
who
don't you
freed
skip on
Hinnick,
me.
the Dry Devil, used
I
that
apologise,
thing.
sir. Which
That
wine?
Red.
Hackenbücher
Am I speaking in Latin?
hand cannon. Can you believe it? Where did they get them?
You're the one who should know where they got them, since you're a gunsmith.
What are you implying, Friedrich? All I'm saying is that they had them, Herrgott. It is eine Schande when outlaws have better weapons
now,
than the
waiter.
city
I
garrison.
wanted red.
And Herr König surely knows this too.
What is it, Eldris? You smell a deal?
What I smell is that your stubborn heads do not realize what Schwierigkeit
Come now,
this is.
waiter. I wanted red.
The Dry Devil is running free. There are Raubritter everywhere
Thank
in the
you,
region.
waiter.
We have the army bearing down, and you want to defend yourselves with a few rusty halberds.
And who is it you want to fight, exactly? The merciful King Sigismund is providing us with protection, isn't he?
Der König and his army will not be here forever.
I
Shut
fancy
up!
some Tokai.
King can arrive at any
Refill,
moment.
boy.
What if he heard you?
What then? We're sitting atop the biggest silver heap in the
apologise, sir.
kingdom, and we're
Which
supposed
wine?
to defend
White.
it with brooms?
Tokai.
You're right, Eldris. But where can we get the coin for better equipment?
We can always confiscate the property of the king's enemies, nicht wahr?
We are more than familiar with the jämmerlich state of our armory. And the king is surely aware of it as well. Maybe if he waived some of
Hey,
the
where's my
taxes-
white?
The king fears that this town will rise against him. He'll take the arming of the
sorry,
city's
sir.
militia as a preparation
Orders
for
from
war.
above.
This
So
is
you
unbelievable.
suggest we just wait with arms crossed for the Raubritter to wreak havoc all around.
We can always ask the king to bring order to the realm with his army.
But then the Dörfler will rise up.
I'm afraid I
apologize,
see
sir.
no solution of
Which
the current
wine?
situation.
White,
We shall wait and see what His Majesty thinks about the matter. Maybe we
Sir?
can change his mind. Vielleicht.
Well, thank the Lord.
I'd like to report to the honorable council on the cleanliness of the
I
city
fancy some
and the
Tokai.
state of the public bath.
Refill, boy.
baths or brothels?
Sorry, sir. Orders from above.
This is unbelievable.
So, the cleanliness of the city is not what it should be.
Waiter.
The current baths in the city
More
fall
wine,
far
Master
short
Bailiff.
of covering all the citizens' needs.
You're right, Jerome. But a woman named Betty has showed up on Hopbrink and wants to repair the baths that used to be there.
She's a protege of Maresh.
I need something from you. There is an item in my study that I confiscated from a female thief. She thought she could wriggle out of it by telling me who the item belongs to.
And what is it?
A silver goblet. She sneaked into Sir Ulrich's house and stole it. No one's noticed the theft yet. But if Ulrich finds out, he'll turn the city upside down to find the culprit. Go and get it. And don't you make a mess there, understand?
And they can get leeches there for free as well. And while he's there, a man can shave and...
Where can I find...
Use your eye and come around.
Going to the baths is neither a civic duty nor a right.
Have you forgotten the Black Death? A great
can't
many
leave here
people
with the wine,
died
though.
needlessly.
Are you questioning God's plan? The Black Death had nothing to do with the bath, unless the Lord wishes to punish the wickedness that's going on in there.
Keeping the city clean is important, but we don't have money to spend. Arguing about who is going to wash where and how is a waste of time.
It's only a waste of time. Because we're always arguing
silver
about the
might
same
be
thing.
Not at all. If you'd finally admit that it's a trifle, we wouldn't have to keep...
So, the
I did, Master Bailiff.
not so loud. That's it. And now go back to...
The least we can do for the citizens is to provide them with a place to wash up.
What nonsense! Next, you'll want me to serve wine to everyone for free, too.
Why not? In Jerome Nars's earthly paradise, everything would be free.
Don't put words in my mouth.
Gentlemen, let's agree to disagree. What if the king heard us?
I got word that Rutard has pulled off another deed.
That's nothing unusual. That old weasel will never accept that the city isn't run his way.
Hey,
At
waiter!
least until His
Pour me some
Majesty honours
monastery
us with
wine.
his
Apologise,
visit.
sir.
And as we
Which
know,
wine?
Red.
Gunslin absolutely
speaking in
hates
Latin?
him.
He can hate all he wants, as long as he does no damage. Ulrich, what have you got to say about it?
Me?
Sir?
Well, I'm not sure what you're implying.
I didn't
I'm
order that.
speaking about
I
the
wanted
Rutard
red.
incident.
Sorry, sir.
You were there, weren't you?
It won't happen again.
That. Just a small misunderstanding. We've sorted it out and everything's settled.
My ears must be deceiving me. Are you defending Rutard? Besides, if his men attacked
Waiter,
yours, as
pour
I've
me red
heard,
wine.
then we have a good reason to punish him.
What happened there? Leave nothing out.
I don't like Rutard, true, but in this case,
Thank you,
it
waiter.
really was nothing.
Everyone in the city gossiped about it. I heard there were several dead.
Did you? That's grossly exaggerated. I don't think Rutard will cause any trouble. He is sensible enough not to draw attention to himself while the king is here.
You there,
That's true.
lad. A cup of
Because if
red.
we don't do something about
don't you
him,
skimp
the
on
king
me.
himself will put an end to him, and soon.
Unless he puts an end to us first.
Sir?
Knows what he wants to tell us.
If nothing happened, there's
Well,
no
thank the
point in
Lord.
dwelling on it. Let's move on.
Things have got out of order in the town. Some adventurers decided to take the law into their own hands and restore the tradition of duels. It's not only barbaric, but also illegal. If we tolerate this, the rabble in the city will go wild and do whatever they want. I suspect
boy,
the
a
gentleman
full
from the
cup of
city's sword
monastery
fighting
wine.
school brought this custom to us.
I apologise,
It's
sir.
now run by the
Which
German
Red,
Menhard.
and quickly.
Who knows who that fellow is?
Don't be ridiculous, Forsucker.
Sir?
You act like you've never been in a fight yourself.
Don't
I
hang around me.
accuse a
Vanish,
swordsman
you hear me?
Without a shred of proof. We're not some old fishwives on the marketplace.
So you will just leave it be?
Proven offences
I've no idea
are
what you're
punished by
talking
the
about.
bailiff.
Keep
And
to our
that's
agreement.
that.
Go!
There are more pressing
We'll see
matters
about
to
that.
deal with.
More pressing than the open
come here
contempt
for a
of the
moment.
whole town
Everything in
garrison.
order?
Not
The
for-
guards
sorry.
are apparently settling
I wasn't
accounts their
paying
own
attention.
way. We'll soon be the laughing stock of the whole town.
You can rest assured the whole town is already laughing at us all day.
What can I help you with?
I left my gloves in the chapel. I took them off to pray, but then I rushed here and forgot to... I can't just get...
All right.
I knew it. While you're at it, Count because I'm bored.
Let people throw dirt on our work?
If I threw out everyone who complains over a beer, I'd soon be out of customers.
Ah, the hell with it. We'll never get anywhere like this. Why waste our time?
That was easy enough. And he wanted me to count the winged figures.
So...
I found your...
Really? And did you count?
I counted...
And did you count all the monsters?
Oh.
I'll go back to Sir...
There's the eternal dispute over the cathedrals. The building of the church is dragging on, and in the meantime, they are calling diocesan pilgrimages to settlers, right under our noses. It's just a village with a monastery, and they are going to Mokarol Mining City. Why can't we build faster?
I'll have a cup of wine.
Hire more craftsmen. Start with night shifts.
Haven't you noticed there's a war going on? Are the experts from far off supposed to work in a city under siege?
Sir?
Besides, I get the feeling there's something other than the welfare of the city behind your complaints.
Familiar to
Oh,
me.
you do? Do you?
Have we met?
Well,
And
naturally.
what would that be?
I go to your tavern almost every day.
That
Really?
you'd like to have your own
Then you
altar
must
there?
have decent
So what
wages
if I
to be
would?
able to visit
Hold
the
your
best
horses,
tavern in
gentlemen.
town regularly.
That space in the side nave is mine.
Then hell freezes over, mein Freund. Your place is at least 2 steps behind mine.
A swordsmith dares to insult me? Ha! I think not.
Excuse me? You wanted to buy yourself an altar in the cathedral, just like you bought yourself a seat in this council.
How dare you? I acquired my seat for the services our guild provided and still provides to the
Boy,
crown.
I'd like
Well,
some white.
I hope you're not supplying equipment to the army. If that's all they have, they would be defeated by that bunch of ne'er-do-wells from the alehouse on Obrink.
What ne'er-do-wells?
Now run
Those
on.
wrestlers of theirs, of course. People from the whole town go to watch them brawl.
Oh, this is news to me.
Because it has all been sorted out. Not long ago, the guards raided and threw them all out.
Ah, yes, I had forgotten. What do we have to discuss next?
Hey, boy, a full cup of monastery wine.
I apologize, sir. Which wine?
Red! Am I speaking in Latin?
Good, sir.
Thank you, waiter.
I'm telling you, something is being planned.
Oh, I doubt it. No one's gonna tackle Rootard.
Azon al-Gülçek Össe, Elegiop Katonaikat, İş Kelkinek Utra.
You have nothing to fear. Not you.
Unlike this plan of false!
Come now, Father. Put a little life into your dying. Seen more cheerful priests at funerals.
I'd rather be at one than here.
Unpleasant memories? And now you're 2 decades older and wiser.
And you saved my neck and Henry's.
None of that matters.
Who knows? Maybe that 20 years has changed a thing.
You know what? Do you know any of the guests?
Most of them I'm seeing for the first time in my life. We've had bandits, nobles, burghers, a priest.
Wait a moment. Rabbi, you say?
Yeah. He came with a retinue. Maybe you should go and welcome some of them. After all this...
I wouldn't be too sure. Who's that French fellow you brought?
The great Baron Brabant. Been everywhere. He's got more fairy tale.
Can he be trusted?
He's a blabbermouth, but besides, he defended Kuttenberg. If he were on Sigismund's side, he'd...
How does it feel to breathe free air?
What can I say?
And
no fear of that in my case. Wine, women.
What do you plan to do now?
What do you think? Get drunk, woo one of the local wenches, and wake up in the morning with no hose and a...
Have you...
I'll leave that to the older and wiser.
Dear me. I'd rather... But I suppose I'll have to introduce myself to the rest.
Indeed you should.
Oh, don't start with that. I'd like to steer...
In that case, you should sound out Radzig and Hanush and find out what they're actually planning.
God bless. God be with you. Such rare guests. One wouldn't expect... I'm Godwin.
Peace be with you. Neither would one
How do you know I'm a priest?
It's not difficult to tell. And we are both a little on... And I'm Yehuda, leader of the rabbinical court, and this is Samuel.
Who would rather not be here at all. Why did we have to come here, Sadie? Can you not...
Because we all need to help, and why would they not stir?
Are you here to arrange some...
We have more serious matters to... The situation in the town and the kingdom is answers. You have men and weapons. We have...
Why are you telling this to a Koimer? You wanted to deliver...
Everything in good time, Samuel.
Did you come to lend money to the Lord?
Not to lend, but to give. Help give...
You don't even know if you can trust them. With that money, we could have paid
You remind me of my young friend Henry.
Henry? That messenger of Radzig Copula.
You know each other. You're both around the same age.
That would be him. But we did not get off to a very good start.
I reckon the two of you would hit it off. For a young stripling, he's been through plenty. He was supposed to become a blacksmith. And instead...
Wait. A blacksmith, you say? From Scarlet's?
Aye, that's right.
I knew of someone. A blacksmith.
My daughter knew him most. And that is why Samuel...
Maybe he was my father. But he certainly didn't act like one.
And that was all for the best.
Why? You should have taken care of me. But
don't make hasty judgments. As far as I know, Martin didn't have any other children. At least, none of his own. He took in Henry and raised him as his own on the orders of the Lord of Skalitz, Sir Radzig Kobyla, Henry's real father.
I don't care if he took care of 20 other Mamsas.
That boy's blood father denied him.
A person can't choose their parents. And Henry only...
Enough. I'd rather have a drink.
For that, there will be more.
Good health.
L'chaim.
I'm glad to finally accept.
Good health to you, sir. I'm Godwin, a friend of that lad you arrived with, Henry. We don't know each other.
Baron Vauquelin Brabant, Chevalier d'Arezzo. The last of my line. I am a warrior, a traveler, a strategist, and also, à ma manière, a poet.
My word. Isn't that exhausting?
Mais non! And I'm glad to meet a new friend.
I beg your pardon, but I'm not looking to make friends here.
But you seek allies, no? Is it not in a sense the same thing? The friend of my friend is also my friend, and you say you know Henri, a likable boy, although he could still learn quite a lot from...
How did you end up imprisoned in...
c'est une histoire compliquée. And only lost it narrowly by an unfortunate...
That needs some...
Oh, misère.
You're quite mistaken.
Je suis désolé. This Bohemia is a strange land. I have seen farmhands. Do tell me about it. No doubt you...
My last big battle was in Kosovo.
I've heard of this battle.
Aye. And it was there I decided it was nothing for me.
Then, what are you doing here, at a meeting of opponents of...
The Lord moves in mysterious ways. You say you're a poet? How about a verse or two to amuse us?
Jamais. Is poetry enough? I think not. To recite, I require the proper mood. And besides, few here would understand me.
Where have you been on your travels? Have you seen the ocean?
But of course! I was born by the sea. If you are interested in my greatest journeys, then I have traveled with a merchant caravan all the way to the Ottoman Empire. And if you are interested in my greatest deed, then that was perhaps saving the life of the king.
And you wouldn't by any chance know the Pope, personally?
Which one do you mean? I spoke briefly with Boniface IX when I was sojourning in Rome. A pleasant fellow.
How come almost nobody here knows you?
I am operating, as they say. Incognito. My great benefit is my strong connection with the French court. There, everyone knows my...
Dear friends and allies, in these troublesome times, you all know why we're here. The question remains, what to do next? Sigismund is facing troubles in Hungary, and here, too, he is up against resistance. He's a capable strategist, but a poor diplomat. Mark my words. If we wait him out until winter, he will leave of his own accord.
By winter, he'll have torched all our fortresses and carried off everything that we possess. Are we seriously gonna wait and cower in a corner? Or are we gonna drive them out in shame? A few well-planned raids and we could have him in our fists!
At what price? Have you got men to spare? Has any of you got men and money to spare?
We don't have men out there.
Yes, we do.
We do not.
Jobst is right. That whole sun won't fall easily.
Only we can't wait.
Are we to get ourselves killed?
Or end with nothing?
I'm not going to die.
Friends, we'll get nowhere like this. Let's adjourn ourselves and try to think it through.
Well, that went just as expected. Good health.
And to yours. Could it have gone any other way when there's so many of us here?
I would have expected a bit more sense from him. He made an amateur's mistake. But by the way, I'm John of Liechtenstein.
That's not a thing I've ever boasted of.
I have my sources. From what I've heard about you, I'd judge you could be quite useful to me at today.
Is that so?
Indeed. And that's why I'd like to ask something of you.
It depends what it's all about.
A little delicate diplomacy.
I expect we can agree that Jobst's plan has certain shortcomings.
That's a weak word.
And the way it stands at the moment, he'll never get
well. I'm curious how you hope to shut Zizka up and satisfy the ones who want peace.
We'll sit and wait quietly until Sigismund withdraws of his own volition, as Jobst proposes, but we'll be waiting in the military camp.
When Sigismund sees that, he'll be off to Hungary all the sooner. At a gallop.
Exactly. Sigismund's army is demoralized and weakened. And besides, he's running out of resources. He's able to tackle fortresses that aren't able to defend themselves. But he won't engage an equal...
But he can't retreat either. That would be a disgrace.
And that's exactly why we'll wait until he's called back to Hungary by events there. For the plan to work, we need allies, their money and their determination. We've already set the ground for it. We just need negotiators who will push the right people in the right direction.
Are you saying you set everything in motion even before Jobst?
More like in parallel, but without his knowledge. If we find support and make it look like the whole thing was his idea, we'll all win.
Why are you doing all this anyway?
Because I want to put a stop to the senseless deaths. And also because I'm happier with Wenceslas on the Bohemian throne.
You've got an interesting way of approaching things.
You're certainly not the first to tell me that. I take it as a compliment.
I'll help you. What exactly should I do?
I'll give you 3 names. Bocek of Kunstadt, Haman Alder, and Anna of Waldstein. If you can get those 3 on our side, we've won the day. Meanwhile, I'll take care of Jobst.
What if it doesn't work?
I refuse to even consider that outcome.
Why me?
Because you've got a head on your shoulders. You know how to talk, and you're not just... You and your friend Henry are similar in that respect. There aren't many like...
Tell me a bit more about those people, so I know...
Certainly. Who do you want to...
Bocek of Kunststadt.
That's just the thing. He's got massive... He doesn't play the big game, because he doesn't like to take risks. He always goes for the sure thing. But once he's made his mind up, not even a pair of oxen will hold him back.
Alder the Alderman. Wasn't he a Kuttenberg councillor?
He still is. The only one who retained his position after the city was taken. Only he's here, instead of cozying up with Sigismund in Kuttenberg. So his days in the council are numbered. But he'll continue to have a strong influence on the guilds and the rich burghers. And that...
Anna of Waldstein.
Wenzel Bartosz. And I'm not surprised you forgot.
I was quite surprised to see her here.
A male affair? So far, Godwin, so far. Anna is holding back and behaving like an exemplary young widow. But don't trust appearances.
And what use can she be to us? Apart from her late husband's money.
She's as sharp as they come when it comes to trade. And she knows a thing or two about diplomacy. There are wicked tongues that claim Bartosz acquired most of his wealth thanks to her. And that it was thanks to her that he died, too.
I'll get on it then. Wish me luck.
I wish us both luck. Before the day is over, the die will be cast.
Success to our plans.
I'll tell you, nobody has the likes of these.
Not even Bocek?
Not even Bocek, and he's a great...
I'd like to check your horses out and see if they're as good as you say.
Pah, even better. But you won't believe it until you see for yourself.
And you might not believe your eyes when you do see them. Well, well, we have a new guest.
I wanted to...
You wanted to apologize for crashing into my home without it by your leave. Or to arrest my guests some more?
I want to have a word with Older.
Well, I'm having a word with you.
I apologize, Father.
For interrupting our conversation? Or just for being you?
Is that your...
Unfortunately. Speak up, then.
I came with a delegation from Sir Hanush of Lipa.
Is this a joke?
Why so strict, Martin?
20 years ago, he was nothing but a cheeky brat, only interested in wenches and booze. I got him a place at the Archbishopric to have some sense beaten into his head. Only it wasn't long before they kicked him out. And then I find out he's settled in some backwater parish in Sassau. But he took his boozing and whoring along with him, lost everything, and then came creeping home again. Huh?
Try saying it again a little louder. They might not have heard you in the outer courtyard.
You have the impertinence to show me your face after the way you disgraced our whole family?
You're exaggerating, like you've always done.
Me? Exaggerating? You're the one who turned my home into a house of ill repute. Your whores wandering around as if they owned the place.
Oh, actually, anything fun was strictly banned under your roof. But maybe you ought to try it yourself sometime. Then maybe you wouldn't be such a bitter old grouch.
You're dishonoring your host.
I can't dishonor someone who has no honor. If you had any, you'd be...
That's enough!
Christopher.
You won't get away with those insults. I challenge you to a duel.
I'm not happy about it, but I accept. This isn't how I imagined my first meeting with my brother.
Make room for us. We'll just settle a very private matter. It's an honorable duel, man against man. Stay back! Hey! Who taught you that?
Cover your right
Did they
side.
teach you that in the seminary?
You've got a gap there I can drive a cart through. Just like in Kosovo. Charge and no
Who taught you that?
mercy.
I'm wounded.
Just like in Kosovo. Charge and no mercy. You don't know which end of that thing is up. Si juste puniris non vam nocetis. I might be old, but I'm not written off.
That!
What's wrong with your legs?
Enough! That will do. My God. Where did you learn to wield a sword like that? Father always said you were a good-for-nothing boozer. But you could teach sword fighting.
I was in a war. Right after they kicked me out of the Archbishopric. And you ought to know yourself. Not all the faults that Father sees are...
Aye. Well...
So Father would be satisfied. Only he'll never be satisfied.
I thought he was the way he was because his first son let him down.
And no luck again, eh? When I was 6 years old, I fell off a horse and broke my leg. He wouldn't talk to me for a week because I'd let him down.
The first time he took me hunting, he let me starve for 3 days until I was able to shoot my first hare.
Only 3 days. He got soft.
I always wondered who you were. There was never much talk about you at home.
Look, I really did fuck up everything I could, but now I have a chance to put things to rights a little.
And that's why you want to talk to Alder.
I've got to get him on our side and to cooperate with us.
Aren't we all on the same side?
Maybe everyone's saying that. But it's time to put it into...
After your encounter with Father... Actually, I don't think you should even attempt it. Unless you want to anger Father even more.
What else can I do, though?
I'll talk to him myself. He'll hear me out for sure.
All right, then. You've heard Yob's plan, right? It's a nice idea, but we can't wait around without an army to back us up.
Only no one's going to pay for one, because that would be an outright admission of rebelling against Sigismund.
Alder's got some clout with the councillors and burghers who are loyal to Sigismund. If he agrees...
I expect Alder's not the only one.
You got that right.
Leave Alder to me. The plan sounds...
I don't know how to thank you.
You can drag me to a tavern sometime. Pa doesn't need to know about it.
You're starting to sound...
And that's exactly why we mustn't push too hard.
Sir Bocek, I need to speak with you for a moment.
A man hardly puts his cup to his lips. Yobs comes up with a plan as full of holes as a beggar's shoes, and now you're all jostling to...
On the contrary, I've come here...
Does that improvement include a few thousand men-at-arms?
A few thousand men-at-arms, that's only in order to get them.
You've got my attention, but not my money yet.
How can I persuade you?
I need guarantees of security. I don't want to end up like Rutard.
Of course. Once it comes to protecting property, ideals go out the window.
You can talk, since you haven't got a pot to piss in yourself. If you were in my position, you'd think differently. I have a lot of property, lots of subjects to look after, and along with that, the Lord blessed me with a large family. I can't risk it all in a conflict with Sigismund.
So you need guarantees that you won't be left standing in the cold if you openly oppose Sigismund?
My guarantee is called Yitka. She's my niece. If I succeeded in marrying her off to another strong house, I'll have the certainty that I won't be left alone.
Maybe it's enough to find a suitable groom among the allies.
Perhaps someone of suitable standing who Yitka would also gladly accept. I don't want her to be unhappy.
I believe Liechtenstein is single.
And an uncertain party. Besides, he's inconvenient for Sigismund. Yitka could end up being a pawn to blackmail both of us.
How about...
He's a youngster.
He may be young, but he's got something between his ears. He's got battle experience. And when he gets the estate that's his by right, he'll be well secured for life.
If he gets it. Right now, Hanush lords over Rattay and seems quite happy with that state of affairs. On the other hand, the lords of Lipa have a good reputation, and Hanush can always be relied on despite his temper. Maybe it's not such a bad idea.
I'll convey your offer to Lord Capon. If he agrees, we can celebrate our alliance.
I don't care what the young lord thinks. Hanush is the... If he agrees...
Pushing a friend to tie the knot to save the kingdom. Things have come to a pretty pass.
The kingdom will not forget his sacrifice.
Sir Hanush, I bring happy tidings.
You do?
I've gained...
And who is it? I hope it's not...
On the contrary, it's...
Kunstad? By Christ, he's the last? How the hell...
Well, there's one little catch. I had to promise him...
Out with it.
Lord Kunstad has a niece.
Hans Capon is to... Godwin, you conniving old bastard!
Oh, fuck.
I don't believe it. So, young Hans, if you're serious, I'll make sure that you get the Rattay parish.
Or you could make me the abbot of...
Forget it. Soon I'll be paying for a wedding. Not a word to Hans. I want...
Cheers!
Cheers to you, and to your parleying skills.
Sir Bochek, your niece
So Hanush agreed? Without
Indeed.
Then I will fulfill my end of the bargain without reservation.
Thank you, Lord of Kunstad.
Enough formality. We'll have a drink.
Cheers to the beautiful...
Here's to a good bargain.
Take a look at that.
May I have...
You, unlike this...
Young Lord Capon is finally free again. Let's hope he'll...
He got a harsh lesson, but if not...
Do you think there's really going...
I sincerely hope...
have you got something against the Kuttenberg nobles?
Their forefathers lived up to their ears in dung. But thanks to the royal mines, they were born with silver spoons up their asses. And they think that can turn their blood blue.
But surely they're not all like that. And they are our allies.
Allies or not, someone ought to show them their place.
What do you think about...
Are you testing me?
To turn out, some are up to their...
Better make sure you're among the latter, then. And in the meanwhile, help...
Godwin, you wouldn't be avoiding me. We didn't have much time for conversation.
With pleasure, sir. Where did you leave?
Haven't you heard? Lady Stephanie is with... No one even imagined Divish would produce an heir at his age.
As they say, doesn't matter who needs...
Godwin.
Well, it could be a miracle. What are you
Well, I have no... But, all going well, we may be able to establish some... As long as we proceed without prior agreement and mutual support.
I couldn't help but notice your son has... a bit of a talent for getting into trouble.
To put it mildly. Although, if they didn't pull each other out of trouble, God knows where they'd be now.
Wise words.
You know, I am.
May God grant him eternal rest.
Exactly why we mustn't push too hard.
Burghers, patricians, and usurers. My God, what's taking so long?
God be with you, noble lady. There's something I'd like to ask of you.
God be with you. What would that...
Your diplomatic support.
No beating around the bush, eh? I like that.
Margrave Yob's plan has...
To muster an army that Margrave can't afford on it.
Christ! Be praised. You're astute.
I should say so. All sorts of people have their eyes. Although, between the two of us, it isn't hard to figure out.
How do you know Liechtenstein is behind it?
I know most of the people here very well. Many of them certainly have doubts about the Margrave's plans. But they wouldn't dream of stating them aloud. While it seems that Lord Liechtenstein, on the contrary, sees his opportunity.
I'd say you have a better nose for people than most of this crowd.
Not only for people, but also for good food and wine. And beneficial deals.
Then you're in the right place. This occasion provides all of those things.
The wine here is average. The cooks lack imagination. And I have yet to hear any interesting offers. So, to the point. What is it that Liechtenstein wants from me?
Nothing more than support and resources for an army to parley more effectively with Sigismund.
Nothing more? I'd say that's plenty. And why ask me for help? Why should I, of all people, take the risk?
You manage large estates. In return for your generosity, we offer you protection.
I've managed quite well up to now, taking care of my own resources. If you want me to support you...
Do you have something...
Well, one of the guests here has...
who's that?
Haman Alder. Now, if you were to switch these...
Have you fallen out with the Town Councillor?
No. Alder is innocent in the matter. They're disappointed that I dared outlive my husband, and the fact that I'm handling his...
And these papers I'm supposed to switch, what do they concern?
My relatives somehow dug up some trade contracts between myself and certain undesirable parties.
You were dealing with the enemy.
They were not the enemy at the time. My conscience is clear, but I'll rest easier when those papers are in my hands.
I'm supposed to rob an ally.
Haman Alder was given the documents to deliver to the council. He hasn't yet had a chance to look at them, so he won't even notice the difference.
And the papers I'm supposed to plant on Alder?
Just insignificant documents. If the incriminating ones disappeared without a trace, it would arouse suspicion.
All right, I'll help you. Or at least I'll give it a try.
Alder will surely have the papers in his saddlebags, which he left in the shed on the outer courtyard. Bring them to me, and put these there instead. But watch yourself. Odorim's groom has eyes everywhere.
What's that? Counterfeit grocery.
I've got those papers from Alder for you.
Quiet! You don't have to announce it to everyone.
My lady, with all the clamor going on here, I can hardly hear my own thoughts. Here they are.
You're more capable than I expected. Thanks for the help.
You're welcome. And now you're part of the bargain.
As agreed. I will support Liechtenstein's proposal with both words and money.
Thank you, noble lady. God will...
Yes, quite. But let's drink to our bargain, Godwin.
How could I refuse a toast with such a fine lady? To your health, Lady Anna.
And to the success of our efforts.
Greetings, sir.
Gentlemen, I think we can raise our goblets to the successful conclusion of the negotiations.
Is this supposed to be your secret weapon?
Like I said, miracles happen where you least expect them. Tell me, Godwyn of the House of Odorin, what news do you bring us?
I bring nothing from the House of Odorin. But the widow of Waldstein and Sir Bocek of Kunstad will support our cause.
Both of them. Good heavens, what did you promise them?
This is going to be a long story, and I could use a drink. So if you'll excuse me, my lords?
It would seem that we have all benefited from the break in these proceedings. New alliances have been formed. And I have also changed my plans. We shall still wait for Sigismund to withdraw his troops of his own accord, but we will wait with an army at our backs.
Yes! And how are we to raise an army? Wasn't it made clear at the meeting that no one wants to take the risk?
The only thing made clear was that each of us alone is weak, and that we could not find common ground. But that has now changed.
King Wenceslas is, by the will of God, the balbatim of all his subjects. Not only the Christians, our community, and not only ours, will give you coin.
The Kuttenberg houses are still loyal to King Wenceslaus, and we stand with Lord Ruthard.
And if that's not enough, the houses of Leipa and Kunstadt will unite and march side by side.
My niece, Yitka, will take young Lord Capon as her husband.
Lords Kunstadt, Hanush, Radzig, and I will set out immediately. God willing, we will be back within 3 weeks, along with an army.
Now those are words worthy of a nobleman.
My friend, I still believe that words are more powerful than swords. And our words will ring in 1,000 voices to the glory of King Wenceslas.
After we conquered the city, you promised to restore order immediately. And then I find out things are even more disordered than before.
Your Majesty, we are sorry. We will put it to rights.
You've already said that. I want to hear real solutions.
We will put more guards on the roads and toughen penalties. We can have a few captured bandits executed as an example to others.
We do not care about bandits. We care about rebellious nobles and burghers. What will you do with them? How will you solve the chaos in the town administration, the rebellious miners, and the dismal yields? And how is it even possible that a rebellion against the king is smoldering here in the city?
What do you mean, sire?
I hear the resistance is coming from the Jewish quarter, from right under your noses. Why haven't you done anything?
We don't know who is behind this. Without evidence, we cannot punish them.
Otto von Berghoff did not ask questions in Prague either. He acted. And I advise you to do the same. Find a couple of wretches in a hole somewhere, point them to the Jewish quarter, and give them free rein to do anything. The city's Jewish community was and still is on Wencesla's side. They need a warning.
We do not even have enough men to...
Marquardt, could you spare a few men for a while?
Of course, sire. I'll assign them to Eric. He'll take care of it.
So you see, all you have to do is make sure the city rebel get their share. You could at least manage that, couldn't you? And if the thought should cross your minds that you would get rid of the debts to the Jewish moneylenders this way, forget about it. Your debts will remain, up to the last groschen. Only now you owe us directly. And while we are on the subject of money, has the yield from the mines finally matched last year's?
Sire, the deposits are dwindling, and mining is becoming increasingly difficult. And to make matters worse, the miners started rebelling.
Don't take us for a fool. They'll stop rebelling when you pay them proper wages.
Your Majesty, we can't do that.
Silence! How dare you oppose the kingdom's protector? You're a bunch of incompetent sycophants! Chicken shits! Not any better than the scum hiding in the forest.
I apologize, sire. I'll do everything in my power to...
All I hear from you over and over again are excuses and prevarication. And results? None. I therefore place the City Council under the authority of Sir Marquardt von Aulitz, who is present here, with immediate effect. He will make sure you finally do your duty.
But, sire, that would be a violation of the privileges granted to us as a free mining town.
Silence! I am the only guarantor of your rights. You have to earn your privileges, not hide behind them. During my brother's reign, this idleness was perhaps tolerated. But that is over now. You were given a few simple tasks. But instead of working on them, you idled in the baths and lined your pockets. And let the traitors cast their nets undisturbed. But unlike my brother, I am capable of creating order. And I assure you, I do not distinguish between those who stand in my way. Be they beggars, noblemen, or city councillors. You have 2 weeks to restore order in the city and increase mining output. I want clear results, and you answer only to me and Sir Marquardt von Aulitz now. No one else. The council is dismissed. You, don't go anywhere, boy. Be so kind and remain here. Our throat has become rather dry. And we still wish to speak with our friend von Aulitz.
Yes. Sorry.
Between the two of us, Marquardt, was I not perhaps too harsh on them? And speak candidly. We have had enough of false flattery.
Sire, you were harsh, rightfully so. These councillors, they need to be shown their place. You suffered their insolence for far too long. And the same is true of the Jews.
We know. Otto repeated to us several times that it is time to strike against them. We are glad he's not here. He would be intolerably self-satisfied if he knew we had heeded him.
Boy, can't you see the King's cup is empty?
You tend to us as if we were infirm. Boy, pour us a monastic wine. the monks had a good year. We have concerns, friend. The Hungarians are rebelling. Our army is falling apart, and we have enemies here on all sides. Would we had a proper army instead of human mercenaries? They cannot be relied upon. And we are no closer to our goal now than a few months ago.
Are you deaf? His Majesty asked for red wine.
If our father were still alive, he would have been astonished by the mess that a few years of Wenceslaus' reign brought to us. With a single word, he would have put the nobility in their place, and the country would flourish. God grant him eternal glory.
We won't need much more time. We'll arrest the traitor Odorin, and the rest will fall in line.
You say the others will be brought into line, but what do you know of them? We know only a few of them. But there's a fortress standing on every damn hill here. What side are their lords on?
We'll find out soon enough, sire.
If only Wenceslas were not such a stubborn ass, and relinquished that throne that he has no use for anyway. The nobility, on the other hand, found a ruler like him very useful. They made a puppet out of him.
Once you restore order, they'll join you. All you have to do is promise them the privileges they lost during Wenceslas' reign.
First, they'd have to be willing to make peace at least among themselves. Jobst does
Where are you
everything he
going?
can to sow chaos.
Mind your own
so
business.
that he himself emerges victorious in the end. This business makes me thirsty. Pour me some of that red, boy.
I think Jobst is just waiting for the right moment. He'll switch sides when it suits him.
Maybe. But first I'll have to conquer a few more cities. And get a couple more lords on my side. Then they take the threat of war seriously. And Hungary. If Bohemia is a wasp's nest, then Hungary is a viper's lair.
You will follow in his footsteps, sire, as soon as you get the chance.
But the wine is good here. To your health, Margaret. And to your health too, boy. May your children grow in a land ruled by a good king. You did a good job, Waiter. You can be proud of yourself.
To your health, Your Majesty.
First, we need to crack down on the biggest troublemakers.
We're working on it. While the consul was meeting, Otto von Berghoff and his men set out for Rabosch. Odorin won't give you any more trouble.
He and Ruthard are in it together. Once we get Odorin, we can handle Ruthard easily. Rabosch will be yours. After all, Otto has already got Malishov.
I appreciate your confidence, sire.
But the devil knows there are a lot more strongholds to conquer here.
For the king, red wine, boy.
No, we shall have white. We have had enough of red.
White it is. Quickly! If Rabosch falls, others will follow.
I think von Berghoff's little contraption will find its use again.
If need be, we could use it to raise this town hall too. And I have some suggestions for other candidates.
Not so fast, my friend. It's a wondrous tool, but we can't rely on it forever.
To bring it here to the square and point it at the city hall? Those sycophants would only benefit from a warning like that.
It's a splendid idea, but it won't be necessary. The councillors are quite fearful enough already that they can hide nothing from us.
Guards, throw him out. Send someone who can pull wine.
What kind of a donkey have they sent me? Are you only deaf or completely stupid as well? I've never been so ashamed in my life. Get out!
Between the two of us, Margaret, Was I not perhaps too harsh on them? And speak candidly. We have had enough of false flattery.
Sire, you were harsh, rightfully so. These councillors, they need to be shown their place. You suffered their insolence for far too long. And the same is true of the Jews.
We know. Otto repeated to us several times that it is time to strike against them. We are glad he's not here. He would be intolerably self-satisfied if he knew we had heeded him.
Boy, can't you see the king's cup is empty?
You tend to us as if we were infirm. Boy, pour us a monastic wine. The monks had a good year. We have concerns, friend. The Hungarians are rebelling. Our army is falling apart, and we have enemies here on all sides. Would we had a proper army instead of Cuman mercenaries. They cannot be relied upon. And we are no closer to our goal now than a few months ago. Thank you. It is a good year. If our father were still alive, he would have been astonished by the mess that a few years of Wenceslas' reign brought to us. With a single word, he would have put the nobility in their place, and the country would flourish. God grant him eternal glory.
We won't need much more time. We'll arrest the traitor Odorin, and the rest will fall in line.
You say the others will be brought into line, but what do you know of them? We know only a few of them. But there's a fortress standing on every damn hill here. What side are their lords on?
We'll find out soon enough.
If only Wenceslas were not such a stubborn ass, and relinquished that throne that he has no use for anyway. The nobility, on the other hand, found a ruler like him very useful. They made a puppet out of him.
Once you restore order, they'll join you. All you have to do is promise them the privileges they lost during Wenceslas' reign.
First, they'd have to be willing to make peace at least among themselves. Jobst does everything he can to sow chaos, so that he himself emerges victorious in the end. This business makes me thirsty. Pour me some of that red, boy.
I think Jobst is just waiting for the right moment. He'll switch sides when it suits him.
Maybe. But first I'll have to conquer a few more cities, and get a couple more lords on my side. Then they take the threat of war seriously. And Hungary. If Bohemia is a wasp's nest, then Hungary is a viper's lair.
You will follow in his footsteps, sire, as soon as you get the chance.
But the wine is good here. To your health, Marquardt. And to your health too, boy. May your children grow in the land ruled by a good king.
Thank you, sire. You are too magnanimous.
Why? You did a good job. You can be proud of yourself.
To your health, your majesty.
First, we need to crack down on the biggest troublemakers.
We're working on it. While the consul was meeting, Otto von Berghoff and his men set out for Rabosch. Odorin won't give you any more trouble.
He and Ruthard are in it together. Once we get Odorin, we can handle Ruthard easily. Rabosch will be yours. After all, Otto has already got Malishov.
I appreciate your confidence, sire.
But the devil knows there are a lot more strongholds to conquer here.
For the king, red wine, boy.
No. We shall have white. We have had enough of red.
White it is. Quickly! If Rabosch falls, others will follow.
I think von Berghoff's little contraption will find its use again.
If need be, we could use it to raise this town hall too. And I have some suggestions for other candidates.
Not so fast, my friend. It's a wondrous tool, but we can't rely on it forever.
To bring it here to the square and point it at the city hall? Those sycophants would only benefit from a warning like that.
It's a splendid idea, but it won't be necessary. The councillors are quite fearful enough already that they can hide nothing from us.
There's been enough fretting, sire. You shall see. Soon we will drink to the conquest of another fortress.
You are right. So then, to victory. And you, boy, will you drink with us? So that you shall have something to tell your children and grandchildren.
To victory, sire.
To today's, and those of the future.
I sure did. Bocce made sure everyone... Hunger, poverty, and plague. It's too much for a man to take. Even men of faith are cowed, faced by evil overpowering.
And then you would wake up to
Pura mutante, mutamur
Out of his side, right? At the French court, I drank many under the table. Even the notorious.
That's right. Be quiet.